I was caught in bed. Literally. A man yanked me out from under the covers, his face thunderous with rage. He jabbed a trembling finger at the blue-haired guy still sitting on the bed, half-dressed, frozen like a deer in headlights. "Frida Wilkinson," he spat, voice shaking with fury. "This is your idea of clearing your head? Do I even matter to you anymore? Or does your fiancé mean nothing now?" The blue-haired guy blinked, eyes wide in disbelief. "Fiancé? I thought you said you were single." Before I could utter a word to defend myself, the wardrobe behind us suddenly burst open with a loud crash. Out tumbled a guy with candy-pink hair and a fashion-forward outfit, looking just as shocked as the rest of us. He scrambled to his feet and pointed at me. "Wait, weren't you divorced?" he demanded. "Didn't you say you were going to meet your ex-husband to settle things? That's why you told me to hide in there." My head throbbed. It felt like it had tripled in size. Don't ask me what's going on. I just transmigrated here. I'm as confused as they are. Welcome to History channel. Subscribe to follow all our latest adventures. Story begins. What now? I was surrounded. Awkward didn't even begin to describe it. 3 men stood around me, close enough to start a game of poker if they wanted. And not just any poker. Second elder brother poker. They looked at me. Then looked at each other. The air crackled with a kind of tension that could snap a cable. 3 sets of eyes, all edged with open hostility. I took a breath and let my quick little brain kick into gear. Okay, key players, got it. Far left. The cold, controlling type. Albert Armstrong, my fiancé. Center, possessive and obsessive. Bobby Baker, a top-tier celebrity. Far right, clingy and sweet. Calvin Cameron, freshly graduated from an art school. All 3 were drop-dead gorgeous. If looks could kill, I'd be 6 feet under, blissfully smiling. And I'd bet my life their bodies were just as impressive. I clenched my jaw, gritting my teeth. The original host of this body. What a gluttonous little minx. She ate well. "Frida Wilkinson, don't you think you owe us all an explanation?" Albert Armstrong spoke first. His voice so cold it gave me goosebumps. But no backing down now. Losing face was worse than losing a fight. I gathered myself, tossed my long hair over one shoulder, seductively adjusted my bathrobe, and leaned back against the headboard, one leg elegantly crossed over the other. "What kind of explanation are you looking for?" I asked smoothly. "I'll give you whichever one pleases you most." Albert's jaw tensed, his molars grinding. He took a step forward, clearly ready to drag me out of bed himself. But Bobby and Calvin weren't having it. They moved fast, blocking him in perfect synchronization. Their shoulders brushed as they shielded me, only to immediately scoff and shuffle half a step away from each other in disgust. Albert's face was now a sheet of ice. "Move. I'm her fiancé." Bobby sneered. "Fiancé, huh? Keyword. Fiancé. Not husband." Calvin glared. "Don't think you can touch a single strand of her hair." The room fell into a perfect deadlock. Yep. Classic 3-way standoff. Seriously, who the hell transmigrates straight into a sh* though like this? Huh. The future looked bleak. And weirdly refreshing. Time to save myself. I stood up, cleared my throat like I meant business. I'm not exactly thrilled this is happening either. Believe me, this is the last thing I wanted. Bobby, Calvin, go home for now. I'll speak with Albert first, and I'll explain everything to both of you later. Calvin's eyes turned red at the corners. He stepped forward and clung to my sleeve. "Sis, are you kicking me out?" Oh no. That voice. So soft. So vulnerable. It made my heart melt like butter on toast. No wonder people say younger guys are the best. I patted his pink hair fondly. "Go home, sweetheart. I'll talk to you later, okay? Be good." Calvin sniffled, blinking his big wet eyes. "I'll do whatever you say, no matter what." He shot Albert and Bobby a bitter look before slowly turning away like the most pitiful little lamb. Good. 1 down. What, you praised him for being good? I'm not good enough. Bobby's voice oozed sarcasm as he stepped up beside me. Frida, your heart's not just big. It's biased. Without a word, I grabbed Bobby by the sleeve and marched him to the door. You too. Go home. I'll find you when I can. Cover your face. Don't let the paparazzi get a shot. Bobby propped one hand against the doorframe, his voice low and dangerous. Frida, you'd better come up with one hell of a story. Or I might get very, very angry. He gave me a crooked smile. Charming, lethal, and nowhere near kind. Relax. I will. I shoved him out the door and slammed it shut behind him. Boom. I took a deep breath and turned back around. Perfect. Now it was just me. And one very pissed-off CEO whose face was darker than a thundercloud and who looked about ready to commit murder. When did things start with them? Albert Armstrong had finally cooled down a bit, slumping into the couch. His long legs crossed, tailored suit trousers wrinkling just slightly with emotion. So dramatic. I ran through the plot in my head and decided honesty might be my best shot. A year with Bobby. 8 months with Calvin. A vein throbbed violently on Albert's forehead. His fists clenched, knuckles white. Frida Wilkinson, he said, his voice dangerously low. We've only been engaged for a year and a half. And you've already got 3 guys on the line. You think this is some kind of thrilling game? Thrilling didn't begin to cover it. It was so thrilling I almost dropped dead from shock the second I transmigrated into this mess. But I, personally, am a decent, peace-loving person with a weak heart. I can't handle chaos like this. I needed to get these men off my plate. Fast. Frida Wilkinson. Answer me. I lifted my eyes, giving him a strange look. Albert Armstrong, if I remember correctly, we never had any emotional foundation, did we? Before the engagement, we both agreed, it's a business arrangement. Purely for mutual benefit. Feelings not required. You were chasing after your first love, Ruby Blackwell, all over town. Did I ever say a word? So no, this isn't 3 timing. 2 max. And between us? You're the last person who gets to question me. Albert's throat bobbed. The room fell into a strange, heavy silence. His brows furrowed. He uncrossed his legs slowly, posture tightening. I don't have a first love. Ruby Blackwell is just a business partner. Yeah, right. Business partner. Since when do business partners call drunk at midnight asking to be picked up? Since when does a CEO rush someone to the hospital because of a stomachache? Come on. You're not fooling anyone. I don't care if she's your business partner, third party, or ghost from a past life, I said. The point is, you don't get to control me. If this offends you so much, let's just break off the engagement. I stood up, stretching lazily, reached for the red dress beside me and walked into the bedroom to change. Even while pulling on the dress, I couldn't help marveling at myself. God, I'm good. Scared half to death, but still putting on a show like a pro. A true method actor. This whole train wreck wasn't even part of the plan. Tonight was supposed to be Bobby Baker's night. He was filming nearby, and the original host had come to visit the set. But filming got delayed. A night shoot was added last minute. Bobby messaged to say he couldn't make it. Enter Calvin Cameron, who just happened to be in the area on an art reference trip. The original Body's owner figured, hotels booked anyway, might as well make use of it. She messaged Calvin something like, I miss you, little brother, and invited him over. Things got cozy fast. Then Bobby texted again. The night shoot was moved to tomorrow. He was coming over. Already out of the elevator. Panic. No time to send Calvin away. So she told him her ex-husband was coming to talk, and shoved him into the wardrobe. Bobby walked in, pulled her onto the bed, started making out. Boom. Door kicked open. Cue, me, transmigrated mid-wreckage. Fantastic. I changed into the red dress, straightened my posture, and walked out of the room as if I hadn't just been living inside a soap opera. Albert's gaze pinned me in place. I gave him a cold look. Well, you've killed the mood for tonight. I'm leaving. If you decide to call off the engagement, Let me know. I'll cooperate any time. I casually swept my hair up and walked toward the door. But then, a grip on my wrist. Albert Armstrong, the always cold CEO, actually looked a little frantic for once. I don't want to call it off. Excuse me? I'll let it go, Frida Wilkinson. Just end things with those two. Let's get married. Bro, you're practically wearing a green hat at this point. And you still want to talk about loyalty? Annoying. I shook off his hand, flashed a brilliant smile, and said with conviction, Fine. You dump Ruby Blackwell, and I'll break up with the others. No hesitation. Deal. What? I'll terminate the partnership with Ruby tomorrow. I won't see her again. What the hell? Who does that? I bit my lip. I take it back. Forget what I said. Do whatever you want. Because those two are my sweethearts. I'm not breaking up with anyone. I was lying through my teeth. I wanted to cut things off. Desperately. Bobby Baker was a clingy maniac dressed up in a Playboy's skin, twisted and intense. The kind of man who played dangerous games with dangerous people. Maybe the original host could handle that kind of chaos. But me? I'm just your average, boring, play-it-safe kind of girl. No appetite for drama. Definitely no stamina for it. And then there was Calvin Cameron. Soft, sweet, harmless on the outside. Always calling me sis this and sis that. But behind that puppy dog facade? A family with enough power to erase people like me off the map with a flick of a wrist. If either of them got serious, I was toast. And both at once? That was suicide. So yeah, I wanted out. The sooner, the better. After that dramatic standoff with Albert Armstrong, I strutted out of the hotel like a queen. Then promptly holed up at home for 3 days straight. Didn't even crack the door open. Total coward. I was terrified they'd come knocking, demanding emotional debts I couldn't afford. But tonight, the walls were closing in. I needed air. Just 5 minutes outside. Ding. The elevator doors opened. And bam, I walked straight into a man. Literally. Head first into a broad, solid chest. Black cap. Black mask. Even with half his face hidden, I knew exactly who it was. And that chest? Firm and springy. Too familiar. I opened my mouth, half ready to mumble an apology, only to be grabbed by the wrist and dragged toward my front door. His voice was low and magnetic, curling through my bones. Open it. Oh no. No 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 no. Bobby Baker. He'd found me. Turns out karma has a killer memory. My fingers trembled as I punched in the code. Before the door could even shut behind us, he twisted my arms behind my back and slammed it closed. And then his lips were on mine. Hot. Possessive. Relentless. His kisses were too good. Dangerously good. My head tilted back instinctively under the pressure. He wrapped me up tight, his arms of ice, leaving no room to escape. Every kiss landed like fire. Sticky. Messy. Intimate. He kissed like he owned me. Like he was branding me. My knees buckled. I could barely breathe. Close the door, I managed to gasp. He flicked his fingers behind him. Click. We were sealed in. The tiny entryway became a furnace. He tilted my face, brushing my lips with a calloused thumb. Didn't you say you'd come see me when you had time? His tone was casual, but his eyes were razor sharp. Why didn't you? Why didn't you answer my messages? Frida. Who's on your mind these days, huh? He was breathing against my neck now. The heat from his words made my skin crawl in the best and worst ways. I was trembling all over. His arms tightened around my waist. What? Were you really planning to ghost me? You little liar. His voice dipped dangerously low, something unhinged glinting in his eyes. I swallowed hard, trying to stay composed. Tried to channel the femme fatale energy I definitely didn't have. I leaned close, brushing his lips with mine. Don't be ridiculous. You're overthinking. I've just been insanely busy these days. Actually, I was on my way to see you tonight. He tilted his head, flashing that crooked cocky smile of his. The kind that said, "Nice try, sweetheart." Then without warning, he swept me off my feet. 2 strides later, he dropped me onto the couch and climbed on top. His chest pressed to mine, our foreheads touching. His voice dropped to a whisper. "I missed you," he murmured. "Didn't even have time to buy anything." "Buy what?" Oh. I stared at the man pinning me down, lips swollen from kissing me breathless. And all I could think was, does this guy seriously not remember I'm engaged? I raised 2 fingers and pressed gently against his chest, slowly pushing him back. "I need to tell you something." Bobby Baker arched a brow. "That night. You probably figured it out already. I'm not single. I have a fiancé." "I lied to you." He said nothing. I took a shallow breath, trying to sound solemn. "So I'm sorry. The 2 of us should." Didn't even get to finish the sentence. He kissed me again. This time, it lasted 2 whole minutes. When he finally pulled back, he bit down softly on my lower lip, like he wasn't quite ready to let go. "I've thought it through, Frida. You're an addiction. Being without you hurts more than dying. So whether or not you have a fiancé, whether you lied to me, I don't care. I'll be your side guy. Can we just keep going like this? Even if it stays in the dark?" I stared at him, stunned. He narrowed his eyes, fingers brushing under my chin with deceptive lightness. "There's only one thing I ask. When you're with me, I want to be the only one in your mind. No other men." "Excuse me? You're a top-tier celebrity. You could have anyone. And you're willingly volunteering to be someone's affair?" Maybe it was the look on my face. Too complicated to name. Bobby Baker's left hand clamped around my wrist, pinning it above my head, while his right hand wandered across the bare skin of my back, tracing the dip of my shoulder blades. "Answer me," he murmured. "Or don't bother trying to get out of bed tomorrow." His touch grew bolder, more dangerous. I was on full alert. I twisted free of his grip with all the strength I had and managed to shove him a half-step back. "I'm on my period today." "So no." Bobby blinked, then let out a low laugh. He pulled me back into his arms and kissed my forehead softly. "That's okay. I'm just happy I got to see you." "Frida," he whispered, "don't even think about leaving me. Because if I lose control, I just might lock you up somewhere." That night, Bobby Baker didn't leave. He wrapped me in his arms on the sofa and made me binge-watch an entire drama he starred in, from start to finish. It wasn't until the next morning, after his agent blew up his phone, that he finally left. Reluctantly. Painfully slow. Not without one last soul-stealing kiss that left my lips bruised and swollen. God help me. My mouth was practically numb. I was still reeling from finally getting rid of that obsessive, kiss-obsessed lunatic when my phone started buzzing non-stop the moment I sank into the couch. I grabbed it. A flood of messages from Calvin Cameron. The chat window was filled with oil paintings. Dozens of them. All of me. Some full body, some half body. Some with me smiling. Some of me sleeping. "Sis, I painted all these for you. Do you like them? Why haven't you replied these past few days? Is it because you don't like me anymore? I'm really obedient. I won't cause trouble. Please don't leave me. I miss you so much. I can't sleep at all. I'm in the studio now. Will you come see me? Just for a bit." I looked up at the ceiling in silence, feeling the weight of the universe. Send one away, and another pops up. The original host of this body must have had god-tier time management skills. Handling all of this without missing a beat? Incredible. Well, in any case, I had to deal with it. Since I'd failed to break things off with Bobby, maybe Calvin would be the easier one. My fingers flew across the screen. "Wait for me. I'm on my way." Calvin Cameron's studio was enormous. The kind of space every artist dreamed of. Natural light, high ceilings, white walls. Right in the center of one wall hung a massive canvas. Intricate. Breathtaking. And yes, it was me. Honestly, This whole place might as well have been a personal Frida Wilkinson exhibition. As soon as he spotted me, Calvin lit up like a summer firework. He dropped his palette and brushes without a second thought and ran toward me with that signature sunshine smile, wrapping me in a hug so warm I almost forgot why I was here. He nuzzled into the crook of my neck, soft pink hair tickling my skin. "Sis, you finally came to see me. I missed you so much." I twitched a little, his fluffy hair brushing my cheek. I felt like a horrible person already, and I hadn't even opened my mouth. I was about to break his heart. God, I was a walking red flag. "Calvin, I need to talk to you." "Come here, sis." He cut me off sweetly, tugging my hand and leading me to the painting he'd been working on before I arrived. He sat down, picked up the brush again, and in a few fluid strokes, completed it. "Done. Do you like it?" This one was different. 2 people on the canvas. Calvin was kneeling on one knee, face tilted up in quiet devotion as he offered a bouquet of flowers. To me. How the hell was I supposed to break up after that? He gently interlaced our fingers, his eyes filled with unfiltered hope. "Calvin, aren't you mad I lied to you?" I asked. "I am," he said softly, lowering his face to press it against the back of my hand. "But more than that, I'm scared you'll leave me." He dropped a reverent kiss onto my skin. His lashes brushed my hand like velvet, making my fingers tingle. "Frida Wilkinson, get a grip. You are a righteous, responsible adult. You do not fall for puppy eyes." I pulled my hand away firmly and gazed out the window with tragic melancholy. "Calvin, you have to stop thinking about me. I can't care for you anymore. Do you want compensation? A new studio? I'll open one for you." He shot to his feet, eyes turning red in an instant. "Why? Was I not good enough?" He lunged forward, wrapping his arms around my waist. All 6 feet of him collapsed onto my shoulder, whimpering like a wounded pup. "Don't do this, sis. I can't take it. I don't even mind if you don't break off your engagement. I'll gladly be your lover. I'll take whatever you give me. Just don't push me away." "Seriously? Another one?" I let out a long, defeated sigh. "Well, funny thing. Bobby Baker said the same. He's willing to be number 3. Calvin's head snapped up, tears still hanging on his lashes, but his face was fierce. "Then I'll be number 4. You'll be wronged. I don't care. I just want to stay by your side." I was speechless, utterly disarmed. What was I supposed to do with this? Break up? Impossible. Calvin clung to me the whole afternoon, parading me through his studio, showing off every single painting he'd made of me. Every time I so much as hinted at ending things, his eyes would go glassy, red at the corners, ready to cry. That fragile, teary expression was heartbreakingly effective. I sighed again. Damn this soft heart. I just couldn't bring myself to hurt him. Better to wait. Find another way. As I was getting ready to leave, Calvin held my hand, swinging it back and forth like a kid. His big, dewy eyes sparkled as he leaned in and gently brushed my eyelashes with his fingers. "Sis, before you go, can you kiss me?" He looked at me with so much hope, I nearly buckled. But I hesitated. Giving him that would only make things harder later. A false promise I couldn't afford. Just as I was wrestling with my conscience, Calvin cupped my face gently, and pressed the softest, most delicate kiss to the tip of my nose. "It's okay," he whispered. "If you're hesitant, I'll kiss you instead. You just stay right there. I'll take the other 99 steps toward you." God, help me. I've never dealt with anyone this heartbreakingly good before. Head spinning from the sugar rush, I somehow held firm, pried my hand out of his and mumbled, "I'll see you when I can." Then I turned and ran like hell. Didn't look back. On the way home, I racked my brain for a plan. Bobby Baker and Calvin Cameron. Neither of them seemed easy to cut off at this point. And my moral compass refused to let me keep dancing between the two. My survival instinct, on the other hand, was screaming for me to run. Far away. From both. Because if this kept up, I was one plot twist away from turning into one of those dramatic fanfiction heroines. You know the type. Terrifying. But after thinking for half the night, I still hadn't come up with anything. I gave up. Decided to go home and lie down like a corpse. Only the moment I got to my door, I saw him. A tall figure in a tailored suit, sharp as ever. Albert Armstrong. He turned toward me. Where have you been? Oh, for the love of... 3 men in one day? Was this my punishment for all my sins? Exhausting. Well, at least this one should be the easiest to deal with. No messy emotions. Just business. I brushed past him and unlocked the door with my fingerprint. Where I go has nothing to do with you. I glanced down. He was holding a folder. Right. Here to talk about the breakup. Came to finalize the engagement withdrawal, huh? Come in. I stepped inside, expecting him to follow calmly. Instead, he slipped in sideways right behind me like he was afraid I'd slam the door in his face. I thought about making some tea, maybe actually having a civil conversation. Didn't make it to the kitchen. Bang. He had me pinned against the glass door. Excuse me? Was Bobby Baker possessing him now? Frida, you went to see those two today, didn't you? What do they have that makes you so into them? What? We're breaking up anyway. Why do you care? You bored or something? His grip on my wrist tightened. I already told you, I'm not calling off the engagement. Then what the hell are you doing here? Was he insane? Albert's gaze darkened. I don't need a reason to visit my fiancé, do I? And you still haven't answered me. What do you like about them? This was not the Albert Armstrong I remembered. Stoic, distant, always composed unless Ruby Blackwell was involved. The man in front of me was intense, unhinged, demanding answers. Last time he was like this was when he walked in on me with 2 men. I was getting annoyed. You want to know? Fine, I'll tell you. Bobby Baker's a walking circus. He's unpredictable. He makes things exciting. Calvin Cameron is young and sweet. He calls me sis, and it makes my whole day better. There. Satisfied. Now what? He took a step closer, voice dangerously low. I can learn. What? You like pretty boys? I don't look too bad. You want excitement? I can read up, study new things. You want obedience? Fine. Aside from breaking off the engagement, I'll do whatever you say. You like being called sis? His lips brushed against my ear. Sis. Holiest. Help. This was horror movie level creepy. And he wasn't even joking. He sounded dead serious. I instinctively reached up and felt his forehead. Are you feverish? Possessed? What's happening right now? Albert grabbed my hand and placed it over his heart. I'm serious. What happened with Ruby Blackwell? That was my fault. I didn't treat you the way a fiancé should. I made you feel insecure. So you found someone else. I get it. I don't blame you. His words came slow, heavy. But from now on, I'll change. You're the one I'm marrying. I'll be who you want, and I'll give you everything. Let's do this right, okay? I was shaking. Albert, please. Be serious. I've got 2 men on the side. He didn't even blink. Then break up with them. I tried to fight fire with fire. I won't. I like the chaos. I enjoy it. Still want me now? He looked straight into my eyes. Yes. Albert Armstrong fell into silence. Knew it, I thought. A man like him, cold, composed, born and bred at the top. How could he possibly tolerate a wife who kept lovers? Albert Armstrong, this is the kind of person I am. If you can't accept that, let's end it clean and early. I don't want to deal with your drama later. I'm tired. I brushed past him, ready to walk away. Didn't even make it 2 steps before he pulled me back into his arms. And then, his lips crushed against mine. Forceful. Awkward. Clumsy. Clearly, this man had no kissing experience. Even his aggressive attempts were stiff and uncoordinated. Compared to Bobby Baker's finesse? Not even close. I bit down hard. He winced and pulled back. His pristine suit now slightly disheveled from the struggle. I was panting. What the hell, Armstrong? What do you want from me? I want this. What? I want you, even if you won't leave those two men. I still don't want to lose you. His gaze was deep, intense. Too intense. Frida Wilkinson, no matter what you do, I'll endure it. But the one marrying you can only be me. He's lost it. The world's gone mad. Men have officially gone insane. Mom, I want to go home. I didn't respond. Just slammed the door in his face, pushing him out of my apartment. He left behind a document in the process. I picked it up. It was a stock transfer contract. Transferring shares. To me? What the hell? When did Albert Armstrong fall this hard for me? Was this some twisted CEO trope? Fall in love after your fiancé starts cheating on you? Even agree to a ménage à trois? Or four? I couldn't wrap my head around it. Maybe I was the one going crazy. The next day, the original host's bestie, Kiki Brown, invited me out for afternoon tea. Given the chaos I was drowning in, I welcomed the chance to vent. You keep sighing, she said, sipping her iced latte. Girl, 3 men orbiting you. Shouldn't you be thrilled? I rested my chin in both hands, sounding like I was mourning someone at a grave. But I can't handle 3 of them. Then drop 2. Okay, you pick which 2. Kiki nearly flipped the table. I meant dump 2, not gift me 2. Oh. I slumped again. Halfway to death. Forget this, she said. Let's go do something wild. Shake it off. Girl, my life's wild enough as it is. No, I mean real adrenaline. Come on, let's go skiing in City C. I swear, high-speed sports will cleanse your soul of all 3-man drama. I thought about it. And she had a point. Fine. Let's treat this like a mission. Turns out, this mission failed epically. I had no skiing talent. Not even a smidge. I fractured my leg on my first run. Now here I was, lying pitifully in a hospital bed with my leg encased in a cast the size of a tree trunk. And around my bed? A crowd of 3 very familiar faces. Kiki Brown took one look at the scene and bolted. Albert Armstrong had flown in by helicopter. If you wanted to ski, he said, brow furrowed, I could have gone with you. I would have made sure you didn't get hurt. Bobby Baker scoffed from the side. Maybe she went skiing to avoid someone. Come on, who she dislikes the most should be obvious by now. Sorry. Boys. I was trying to dodge all 3 of you equally. Albert loosened his tie with one hand and shot Bobby a cool glance. Regardless, I'm the one she's engaged to. Unlike someone who can't even show his face without looking like he's in witness protection. Bobby, hood low, mask up, almost cracked. Almost. Meanwhile, Calvin Cameron was sitting beside my bed, sweetly cutting an apple into tiny slices. He held a fork up to my mouth. Sis, say ah. I surrendered and took the bite. May as well eat. The world was ending anyway. Just then, the patient in the next bed, apparently unable to suppress her curiosity, asked, These 3, are they your? I gave her a slow, ominous smile, pointing from left to right. First husband. Second husband. Third husband. Sorry if we're disturbing your rest. I've got a very busy household. The woman's eyes bulged like saucers. Albert turned to Bobby with a smirk. You hear that? At best, you're a concubine. Bobby retorted with a sneer. Historically, concubines were always the most favored. Calvin. He just offered me another bite of apple. Sissa. I chewed with a blank face. And for the first time in days, I felt strangely peaceful. The kind of calm that only comes when you've accepted your fate. Or the end of the world. Albert Armstrong pulled some financial strings and had me transferred back to a private hospital in City A. Single room, VIP level privacy. The good news? No more nosy bedmates and their soap opera stares. The bad news? I now had to deal with all three men in the same space. Day and night. Albert made it very clear to the hospital staff. No one but him was allowed into my room. But Albert Armstrong wasn't omnipresent. He had meetings to attend, businesses to run. And during those windows of freedom, Bobby Baker used his face. Calvin Cameron used the window. So yes, I had a broken leg. And still had to fend off three relentless suitors 24/7. This wasn't a transmigration. This was purgatory. Under the dim room light, Bobby Baker held my hand in his, thumb brushing my palm. "Frida," he murmured, seductive as ever, "why don't I just take you away right now?" I glanced at my leg, bound tightly in a plaster cast. "You've got jokes, huh? I really can't stand that Armstrong guy. Smug bastard in a suit. You can tell he's bad news just by looking at him. And that Calvin kid. Sis this, sis that. It's enough to make my ears bleed." "Excuse me? Like you're any better, psycho. I know I said I'd be okay being the third. But truth is, I want you all to myself. I want you so bad it hurts." His fingertips slid along my cheek, hair catching the light like some kind of ethereal blue fox. He smiled like he wanted to burn the world down. "Just for fun. Why don't I just hide you somewhere? Just the two of us. Heaven on earth night and day." I stared at him, unimpressed. At this point, I'd trained myself to treat 90% of what they said as background noise. Mentally, I was meditating. Eyes open. Soul detached. "Frida," he said, voice low. "You're so cruel. You tempted me. Lied to me. And now you're ignoring me. You're really making me want to see you cry. The kind that doesn't stop." He brought my fingers to his lips. Bit down. "Beast. I'm half dead, and you're still in the mood?" I looked at him with dead eyes. "You're a celebrity. Don't you have better things to do with your time?" His eyes narrowed, dark amusement flashing in them. "When it comes to you, I've got all the time in the world." "Well then," I said blandly, "why don't you open the window? Let the other one in. Maybe you two can put on a comedy act." I tilted my chin toward the window. Outside, clinging to the glass like a human octopus, was Calvin Cameron. His soft face with those thick brows was smushed flat against the pane. Looked like a pancake with a sad expression. I still remember the first time he scaled the window. Scared the soul out of me. Thought I was being visited by a ghost from hell. Let him climb. It's the second floor. He won't die if he falls. "He won't fall," I said. "But if you don't open up, he'll start yelling. Then the nurses, doctors, and even the patient next door will be here for a front row seat. You want this in the tabloids, Mr. Superstar." Bobby looked like he'd swallowed a fly. Miserable. Furious. But after a long pause, he stomped over and cracked the window open. Calvin slipped in with the agility of a cat. Didn't even glance at Bobby. Instead, he dashed straight to me and proudly pulled something from his jacket. "Sis, look. Open it." I noticed fresh paint splattered all over his sleeves. With a sigh, I peeled the wrapper open. It was a sculpture. Me. In a red dress. Playing the violin. Detailed enough to be a collector's figure. "You made this." Calvin grinned, flashing his tiny fangs. "I took lessons. I wanted to capture every moment of you, sis. I messed up a bunch of them before finally getting this one just right." "Do you like it?" I had to admit, it was kinda amazing. Bobby scoffed. "Sweet words. All fluff. No use." Calvin didn't even flinch. He locked eyes with me. Stars are useless too. But if sis wanted one, I'd find a way to bring it down. Suddenly, footsteps outside the door. A nurse's voice. "Don't worry, Mr. Armstrong. We're taking excellent care of Miss Wilkinson. Her leg's healing very well. And no unauthorized visitors have been allowed in. Just like you requested." The door swung open. Silence. 3 men turned, locked eyes. Sparks flew. If looks could kill, I'd have 3 corpses at my feet. I was done. Exhausted. Numb. I yanked the blanket over my head. Let the royal concubines battle it out. This empress was going to sleep. The weather was perfect today. And for once, my hospital room was blissfully man-free. I decided to seize the rare peace and wheel myself downstairs for some fresh air. But of course, while I successfully avoided infuriating men, I ran straight into a woman who was worse. Ruby Blackwell. She swung her designer bag onto her shoulder, lips curled in a smug little smile. Well, if it isn't Albert Armstrong's precious little fiancé. What happened, sweetheart? Broke your leg? How tragic. I gave her a calm smile. Not too bad. Or, she leaned closer, voice honeyed with mockery. Was this your way of getting Albert's sympathy? Hoping he'd finally give you the time of day. Sis, she clicked her tongue. That trick is ancient. I tilted my head with a lazy shrug. Mediocre at best. Now, if you'll excuse me, you're blocking the way. Ruby chuckled and deliberately stepped forward, her stiletto heel pressing onto the footplate of my wheelchair. Let's cut to the chase. Break off the engagement with Albert. He doesn't love you. Everyone knows it. Why cling to a man whose heart isn't yours? It's pathetic. I nodded solemnly. You're absolutely right. She blinked, confused. I pulled out my phone and hit dial. Albert answered instantly. Frida? Are you feeling okay? What's wrong? Albert, I said sweetly. Let's call off the engagement. His voice was steady, no hesitation. I've already told you, I won't end it. Frida, you're marrying me. I'll be the only man you have, publicly or otherwise. I turned the screen toward Ruby's stunned face. See? It's not me refusing to break up. It's him. Maybe try convincing him instead? Albert's tone sharpened through the speaker. Who are you with? Is that Ruby Blackwell? Ruby Blackwell, I'm warning you. If you so much as lay a finger on Frida Wilkinson, the entire Blackwell family will disappear by morning. Frida, stay calm. I'm coming right now. I ended the call with a satisfying click. You heard him. Not my fault. Ruby's perfectly contoured face twisted with rage. She raised her hand, voice trembling. What the hell did you do to him? He used to. Before she could finish, her wrist was caught midair. She stumbled back as Bobby Baker stepped between us, mask covering half his face. And what do you think you are, touching my woman? Your woman. Ruby choked. A quiet voice answered behind her. Anyone who hurts Sis isn't welcome. Calvin Cameron appeared, expression innocent as ever, and stepped up beside Bobby. Ruby looked around, horrified, her expression morphing from anger to outright panic. Wait. Frida, you're cheating on Albert Armstrong? You seriously think he won't find out? I spun my phone in my hand with a grin. Wanna bet if he knows? Ruby's worldview collapsed right in front of me. It was glorious. I let out an unhinged little laugh. For once, I felt like I was born to play the villain. Before Albert could arrive and deliver the final blow, Ruby fled in stilettos, her pride crumbling in every shaky step. Shortly after, a nurse came to inform me I was cleared for discharge. Which led to a new problem. Who the hell was taking me home? Albert Armstrong showed up first. You'll stay at my place. I'm your fiancé. It's my duty to care for you. Bobby Baker scoffed. Yeah, and let her get torn apart by your little childhood sweetheart? No thanks. Frida, come to mine. Calvin stepped in with a gentle smile. Sis, stay with me. He has work. He's shooting a movie. But I'm free. You're my whole world. Albert cut in. I'll skip work. I'll stay home with you. Bobby added, I'll cancel all my appearances. I won't leave you alone. Calvin beamed. I still have so many paintings to show you. I closed my eyes slowly. Their voices overlapped like a broken radio. That's enough. I raised my hand like an exhausted monarch. I'm going to Kiki Brown's. Sis, I swear I'm not chickening out. It's just that your 3 men are downright terrifying. You didn't see how they glared at me, like I broke your leg with a baseball bat. And the tension in that room? I could feel my life expectancy drop with every second I stayed. I lounged on the couch, casually directing Kiki Brown to peel me an apple and unpeel a banana. Still think I'm ungrateful for this blessing of mine? She shook her head furiously. A messy harem is a lifetime of unrest. You want one of them? I asked, deadpan. Please, she snorted. When did I ever say I wanted them? Sure, one's rich, one's hot, one's clingy. But throw them in a room together? Instant hell. She patted my shoulder with a TSK. This is karma for being a heartless flirt. I rolled my eyes and smacked her hand away. Flirt. Me. I'm just the poor soul stuck cleaning up this emotional mess. Oh right, isn't your birthday coming up? She asked. I squinted, thinking. I think so. If nothing goes wrong, you'll still be at my place on the day. However you want to celebrate, just say the word. It's on me. I forced a bitter smile. Let's just survive it. Kiki decided we'd celebrate my birthday in a sky restaurant. Yes, actual sky. A restaurant suspended 100 meters above ground. Life's too short, she said, eyes gleaming. 30,000 days on average. You need to chase adrenaline once in a while. This birthday? I guarantee, you'll never forget it. My not fully healed leg trembled in terror. Oh, I'll remember it all right, I muttered. In my nightmares. To avoid getting bombarded by the three, I turned off my phone completely. But my eyelid had been twitching non-stop all day. Bad omen. And of course, halfway through dinner, the entire sky exploded in fireworks. It wasn't just a few. It was a full-blown light show. Gasps erupted all around us. This could only mean trouble. Just as I feared, after one round of pyrotechnics, a fleet of drones took formation in the air and spelled out my name. My full name. I froze mid-bite. Then the drones shifted. They formed two little cartoon figures. A man kneeling with flowers in front of a woman. A flashing heart pulsed between them. Finally, they rearranged again into one shining line. Happy birthday to my beloved wife, Frida Wilkinson. I was going to die. Die from second-hand embarrassment. Albert Armstrong, that money-burning maniac. And of course, people around us were swooning. Oh my God, that's so romantic. Who is Frida Wilkinson? Some CEO's wife. Ugh, rich people. So jealous. I bet she's crying from happiness. If someone did this for me, I'd say yes before they even asked. Take the blessing. Be my guest. Then, more gasps. Louder this time. Wait. Is Bobby Baker announcing a relationship? My eyes twitched. Kiki slowly handed me her phone, face somewhere between impressed and horrified. I took it. The top trending hashtag. Hashtag Bobby Baker wins Best Actor and announces relationship hashtag. I tapped into the clip. There he was, black-haired again, dressed in a glittering tuxedo, flashing that star-worthy smile. He thanked the crew, the company, the fans. And then, I'm honored to receive the Best Actor award tonight. But today is also special for another reason. It's my lover's birthday. I'd like to take this moment to say something selfish. Happy birthday, my love. Just as I tried to refresh the page for comments, the app crashed. Too many users. Fantastic. I stared blankly. Bobby Baker just went public with me while being the third man. Absolutely no fear of consequences. I wordlessly handed the phone back to Kiki. She, in turn, handed me her other phone with a wince. I think you're going viral. On screen was a new post going viral on another app. A collage of 9 hand-drawn portraits. All of the same woman, me. Each one signed, FW in the corner. Caption. I'll always be your shield, even if you only glance at me once in a while. Happy birthday, sis. I twitched. That was Calvin Cameron's private account. The sheer quantity and quality of his fan art got picked up by several influencer accounts. The comments section was already flooded. What a devoted little brother. The amount of love in those strokes loudly crying face. I'm crying. This is what it means to have someone who sees only you. Is it just me or are a lot of people having birthdays today? I saw another drone show earlier on the river. Wait, didn't Bobby Baker also confess to someone for their birthday tonight? Kiki let out a low whistle. Sis, if someone puts the pieces together, you're done for. You, my dear, are about to become national news as the girl dating all three. I trembled. No way, right? The sky came crashing down. I'd been exposed. It all started with someone on the internet casually pointing out that Frida Wilkinson and FW, the signature on those viral paintings, were likely the same person. Then someone joked, what if she's also Bobby Baker's girlfriend? Most laughed it off. Just another wild internet theory. Then Ruby Blackwell opened her big mouth. Late to the party, she finally recognized Bobby Baker as the blue-haired man who had shielded me at the private hospital. Her comment lit the match. And boom, chaos. My socials were flooded. Hundreds calling me a heartless flirt. How could you seduce Bobby when you already had a fiancé? Even Calvin? The poor kid just graduated. You're disgusting. A smaller portion, ironically, came asking for tips. Teach us your ways. How do you bag 3 top-tier men? Please open a masterclass. I was speechless. As if I asked for any of this. Meanwhile, in my living room, all 3 men were tearing each other apart. Albert Armstrong. Bobby Baker, what is this? A publicity stunt? Using Frida for clout? I swear, I'll blacklist you by tomorrow. Bobby Baker. Oh please. I was simply wishing my girlfriend a happy birthday. You're the one who staged a fireworks drone show with her name spelled out. Don't blame me for your idiocy, you brainless corporate relic. Calvin Cameron. Whoa. Sis, I'm sorry. I just wanted to wish you happy birthday. I didn't think it'd blow up like this. If you're mad, you can hit me. Albert again. Frida is my fiancé. It's perfectly reasonable for me to go public. Let's take this opportunity to drop the dead weight. Marry me next month. Bobby. Don't marry him. Come with me. I'll give up everything. Fame, fortune. We'll disappear overseas. Calvin. Don't frown, sis. I'll post right now. Tell everyone it was all me, that you didn't lie. I'll protect you. My ears were buzzing like a swarm of bees. Enough, I said, massaging my temples. Everyone shut up. Silence. I don't want to hear another word. This is what it is. There's no point talking. I'm breaking up. With all of you. Albert. I refuse. Bobby. I won't allow it. Calvin. Sis, don't abandon me. God. Why was it so hard to dump people? I closed my eyes. Took a deep breath. Exhaled. Then opened them with the calm of a monk about to leave this world. Fine. Since it's come to this, I'll just tell you. I'm not Frida Wilkinson. I transmigrated. This world? It's a romance novel. You 3. You're the male leads, ML1, ML2, ML3. I landed in the body of the female lead, but my soul's not hers. I'm just borrowing the shell. So you're all in love with the wrong person. Now that you know the truth, let's just say sayonara. A beat of stunned silence. Then, Albert. Frida, don't try to scare me off with this childish fantasy. I'm not backing out. Bobby. Doesn't matter who you are. You're not shaking me off in this lifetime. Calvin. Are you saying you have multiple personalities, sis? That's okay. I'll love every single one of them. Holy hell. They really weren't buying it. I kicked Albert out the front door. Shoved Bobby after him. I was ready to go full WWE on Calvin when he backed away himself. Don't be mad, sis. I'll leave on my own. Slam. I locked the door and screamed, "Get out of my house, all of you." Later that night, Kiki dropped by with her usual chaos. Hey. Don't take what they're saying online too seriously, okay? You mean the 3-timer homewrecker part? I deadpanned. Well, I mean, technically, you did juggle 3 guys. I groaned. That's not the issue. Then what is? How the hell do I get out of these relationships? I collapsed onto the couch, half paralyzed from stress, staring up at the ceiling like it might hold the answer. These men are a curse, Kiki. I don't want this blessing anymore. Come on. I turned to her, eyes wide with desperation. There has to be a way. Something permanent. Final. Irreversible. Kiki frowned in thought. Well, based on how clingy they are, I'd say unless you die you're stuck with them. My eyes snapped open. I shot upright like someone hit the respawn button on my soul. I grabbed her arm. What did you say? That I don't know? No. The other part. Unless you die? A grin spread across my face. Slow and wicked. My lips stretched so far they nearly touched my ears. Kiki recoiled. Why are you smiling like that? I chuckled darkly. A low, eerie sound. Because, I said, eyes gleaming with evil delight. A woman who juggles 3 lovers must not be allowed to live. I jumped into the sea. No body left behind. Albert Armstrong sent search teams combing the coastline for 7 days and nights. All they found was a single shoe. Bobby Baker canceled every engagement, sat by the ocean clutching one of my jackets, and stayed there for 7 days. Then he locked himself in his house and didn't come out. Calvin Cameron cried until he nearly passed out. His parents mobilized every contact they had. Still nothing. No trace of me. Kiki Brown was a wreck. Snot, tears, the whole mess. I should have seen it coming, she sobbed. Frida wasn't herself lately. Always quiet. I should have realized she was depressed. But why the ocean? Why jump? It's all my fault. I didn't look after her. Frida, how could you leave me like this? You heartless woman. When yet another search crew came back shaking their heads, Albert Armstrong's face went pale. He staggered, nearly collapsing. If there's no body, I don't believe she's dead. Kiki stopped him. Don't torture yourself. Just let Frida rest in peace. Albert's eyes went wild. Keep looking. Boss, 1 sausage skewer and an egg burger. Coming right up. Flip-flops, floral dress, sunshine on my shoulders. I took the food, strolling down the street with a smile. The sea breeze was soft, the view bright and endless. 3 months. 3 blissful, man-free months in this little seaside town. No obsessive love. No insane declarations. Just peace. I'd managed to wrestle myself out of a romance novel and rewrite my role as a background extra. Perfect. My phone buzzed. Hello. Hey, you little brat. Having fun out there? Just grabbing some street food. What's up? Nothing. Just checking if you're still alive. Very much alive, I said between bites. Kiki sighed on the other end. Must be nice. Meanwhile, I'm stuck getting interrogated by your men every day. I blinked. They're still asking about me? It's been 3 months. Tell me about it. I've told them 100 times you had depression and couldn't take it anymore. Albert Armstrong's been terrifying. Looked ready to bury half the city with you. Bobby Baker almost threw himself into the sea. Had to be dragged away. And Calvin? Total transformation. The sweet little puppy turned into a full-blown villain overnight. Gives me chills every time I see him. I finished the sausage, unwrapped my egg burger. Yeah, you've told me all that before. I know my fake death wasn't exactly nice to them, but what choice did I have? Time heals everything. They'll move on eventually. At first, I really did feel guilty. But compared to the alternative, being locked up, stalked, or worse, I'll take guilt any day. If I'm being honest, Kiki went on, they haven't been around much lately. Albert went on a long business trip somewhere. Bobby quit showbiz 2 weeks ago and disappeared. Calvin apparently took over his family's empire, whatever that means. My steps froze. Half-eaten burger slipped from my hand, hitting the ground with a soft thud. Anyway, she continued, when are you coming?